that's why it's so important to highlight on the profile, I love going to a park and painting, because then somebody knows what they are. You're managing someone's expectations of what they're connecting with. We want to encourage you to feel independent and happy as the individual first, so that you're bringing the best version to the app and you're finding a partner where you can share memories and build life from that. Correct. So YourLavaan came into fruition just before lockdown. So as lockdown during COVID time, once that started becoming a national pandemic, we realized that people weren't able to meet, obviously by meeting up. And traditionally in the West London or in the UK, some people would sign up to their local Gurdwara and they would meet a partner through there. The places of worship were limited on who could come and access. So we wanted to digitalize that process. What ended up happening was very organic and it expanded quite quickly, is that we started getting people joining the platform directly. So it wasn't just from the Gurdwara matrimonial list, it was people finding us on social media and joining YourLavaan to meet a potential partner. That was initially how we began. I personally had friends, and my partner we had friends that have been looking for 3-4 years for a partner. In particular, they're looking for someone from the same faith, so someone from the Sikh background. And there are loads of matrimonial or dating apps available. This was 7 years ago, but at that point, there weren't any that were specific to South Asians or to the Sikh community. So we just got going. Within 6 months, we had it up and running and we had a good pool of people. So since then, we've been very fortunate with the expansion of it. That's a really good question, because for the first 4 years of YourLavaan operating, we focus 99% of our social media posts on just very simple education into Sikhi, into culture, into traditions versus spiritual growth. We were never direct that we are a matrimonial app. We just facilitated a lifestyle. And then when someone came onto the page and looked a bit more, then they would say, oh, they're actually a matrimonial app. And then they would recommend us or they would join up. Our style was always to support the community. That's just been embedded within us. So we received a lot of criticism from PR companies and from marketing agencies that when someone comes onto our social media, they don't know what we do. They don't know we're a matrimonial app, but our heart has always been in helping the community, and organically it worked because we gained the trust and they really knew what we were about. So it's worked. Now over the last 6 months, we've started sharing posts that are a lot more direct. We are a matrimonial app. Join the pool, find your partner. So we've been very patient with our branding and gaining trust of the community. Never have I given up on the idea, because I'm so committed and I'm so passionate that I want to help people meet their best friend. Like, I'm fortunate enough to be in that position, and I know I'm such an advocate for getting married. Like, once you find the right partner, your life, it's an upgrade. It should never be difficult. And that's what we're trying to help people understand, that even before they get married, work on your own mindset, work on being happy alone and independently. So you're not looking for a partner to complete you. You're not looking for a partner to make you happy. You want to share happiness with them. And it's a very different mindset to how you see marriage. So I'm still so passionate about it. I don't think that will ever expire. The only change that we made was originally we were a website. And then we received a lot of feedback that people wanted an app. So we had a we had a transition stage where we moved from being a website to an app that you can download on the Apple Store and on the Google Store. And since then, we've had a lot of improvements almost on a monthly basis. We get feedback on the app and we implement it straight away. So would never think about leaving it. If anything, I would just keep it going. Yeah, I do agree with that approach that we've traditionally had, because it isn't just the individuals, it is your families that connect. The families are going to meet at every birthday, every anniversary, every time it's Vaisakhi, Bandishor Divas, that your families are going to meet. So
Yeah.
there has to be some mutual understanding, there has to be some mutual similarities on how they operate in their own households. But the most important thing is that the husband and wife are compatible. They are in sync with each other's growth and development. We had this concern on the app where mums, dads, sisters, masiya, chache, they were signing up their nephews or their son or their brother. And then we had to directly speak with them and explain that unless the person themselves does not show interest in connecting with someone, we can't accept the application. Because my own friends have been in a situation where they've seen a great profile online, they've got their hopes up and they build the courage to connect with them or give them a call. And on the other side, Auntie G answers and she's like, Hanji Pod. And you're completely thrown off track because you wanted to speak to the person, you've been building up your courage to speak to them. So that initial conversation is really important, that it's between the two people that are serious about finding a life partner. If you're serious about it, you're going to take the step yourself. You're not going to say, Mum, Dad, you handle it, because it's your life. So you need to be in the driver's seat about this. So I think it both goes hand in hand. The way that this generation, so anyone that's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, they don't have a choice but to move along with how AI is integrated into everything, how everything is like when you order it, you want it in your house within 2 hours. Everything is very fast paced. So, of course, every app that you have on your phone has to operate that fast. But the values that we have, which is education based, which is personal development based, which is more, you need to be content as an individual in order to bring your best self into a marriage. Those values we will keep reiterating, because it's really easy to lose sight of that with how fast our work is, how fast, even how much our boss demands of us from work can really stress us with when we come home and then we actually get time to have our relationship time. We need to know the difference of work stress does not need to come into your home life. Your home life is your rejuvenation. So we really understand the pressures that people are under right now. And you need that grounding and that anchor of what your spiritual values are, what your everyday values are, so you can keep up with the fast pace of what's going on. Absolutely, because there's different expectations. A mother and father-in-law are looking for something different compared to the son. They're looking for the ideal daughter-in-law. But I believe that it should be a combination of, yes, a compatible daughter-in-law, but more importantly, a great partner for your son. Something that I learned very quickly, and it still stands now 5 years later, is that we can have incredible users that they've lived a well-experienced life, they're ready to find a partner, but they just don't know how to present themselves in a one-pager online profile. And it is so hard. How do you choose what to share about yourself? How do you make yourself sound like you're not bragging, but you also want to share the best parts of your personality too, to attract someone who matches your lifestyle? So we learned really quickly that pretty much 99% of users will need help with that. what we've implemented is we have one-on-one conversations, email exchanges, or telephone calls where we'll help them make their profile as user-friendly as possible, easy to read, but also reflects their personality. Because if you happen to be an introvert and you don't want to speak about your great successes or what you want in a partner, it can work against you, because there might be people on the app that are perfect for you, but they just don't know that they could connect with you. So we're just helping users bring that out of them. And we've seen that there's been an increase. We know there's a direct correlation between us helping people improve their profiles and then them getting matched with somebody. So I'm personally really invested in that, because I know what it feels like not to be comfortable to share everything online. So sometimes you need someone to hold your hand and just show you it's okay. We're doing this for a very big purpose. Great question. So we don't personally recommend someone to connect with this person. Everyone has the autonomy to choose who they like. But what we do facilitate in is helping everyone have the best profile possible so that they showcase themselves in the best way. Loads of examples of introverts and extroverts making fantastic marriages, and it's a good yin yang balance. What we find is that these couples have something underlying which holds them together, whether it's their spirituality, whether it's fitness, whether it's they love jogging on a Sunday morning, or they love cooking together. It's always something very everyday lifestyle that glues them together. And then the introvert and extrovert is just qualities of how they manage different situations. But when they come together, they're a great team. So that's why it's so important to highlight on the profile, I love going to a park and painting, or I love sitting on the sofa and watching 2 hours of TV. That's how I relax. Because then somebody knows what they are, you're managing someone's expectations of what they're connecting with. But even so, people like my friend circle that are in their late 30s, early 40s, what they're looking for is companionship. They want easy living. Nobody wants stress, problems, none of that. It's not good for our health, not good for our psychology. So the way to do that is by having these hobbies or having things in life that fulfill you as an individual, and then you might share that with your partner, or you continue to doing that as an individual so that you're replenished, and when you are in a partnership, you're in your best version. So as I mentioned before, we have so much emphasis on whatever fills your cup, keep doing it, even after marriage, whether it's your fitness goals or your career goals, within balance and communicating with your partner what you want to achieve. Keep fulfilling yourself. And within our South Asian community, we do have this where stereotypically women will sacrifice their hobbies or their life interests to really serve the family. But what ends up happening after accumulation of a couple of months or years, they lose themselves. There's identity crisis, there's bitterness, which is why we want to empower women to maintain whatever keeps you going, because that is what your partner was attracted to in the first place. So we met this fantastic couple just a couple of months ago. We interviewed them. They're on our Instagram page. It was such a pleasure to meet this couple, because what had happened is the girl had decided she's going to just take a look online if she will find a partner. And the team feel very privileged that she chose our app compared to all of the other competitors to go on. She said, I'm going to give myself a month and I'll see if I find someone. And if I don't, I'm going to cancel it. And if someone comes to me, then it will just work out. There was a guy on the app that had been on for a couple of months, and they matched within her first week, and she knew that this is going to work for her. And then she cancelled her subscription. They've been married for 1.5 years, and it's a fantastic success story because it just shows the timing. When you know you're ready and your intentions are right, that person is there waiting to be found. You just have to connect with them. So this example has happened numerous times, and it always gives me encouragement, hope, motivation that this is working. So yeah, it's a great feeling for the team. I had a couple of elderly give me a call, and they had concerns about our filter system. So the way that when you go onto the app, you can choose if you want someone that's initiated into Sikhi, that's Amritari, so they'll keep all their guests, all their hair, they'll have a pug, or we had filters of if you smoke or not, drink alcohol or not, have meat or not. They're very everyday lifestyle filters that you would see on every app. But because traditionally within our faith, it's very clean cut. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't have meat. But we understand that within our community, people do. So we have to have that filter for transparency. And elders phoned me and said that we just shouldn't have that filter because it should be a blanket that nobody does this. And I respect their opinion, but I also have to advocate for realistically how our community behaves and looks right now. One thing that we did agree on was that this gentleman called me from north of UK, and he said if we are leading the way and we're being pioneers in this, that we should not have the filter of the caste system in our app. And I agreed with him. We did that traditionally because Gurdwara actually match people according to their caste. But personally, the team never aligned with this. We just don't think that it's relevant. We don't encourage it. We understand that there's different cultures within your communities, but we don't want that. We just don't think that caste system has a place in our community or generation moving forward. So it was so great to hear someone from the elder generation tell us, you're supposed to be paving the way, so you need to remove this from the app. And we did. Within 24 hours, it was gone. We didn't get any backlash or comments from the users about that. They just got used to it really quickly. So I'm really glad that we were able to take on the feedback and subtly make a change within people's thinking and psyche, that they don't have to use that to filter out potential partners. We even still now get very young users signing up. They might be 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. If not myself, someone from the team will actually reach out to them and say, live your life. Do not think about marriage yet. It's always good to have that commitment type thinking, but we generally feel anything between 18 to 21, for the majority, there's a lot more life experience to have had before you want to commit into a long-term relationship. So we do protect our users to be at age range of mid-20s to early 40s. As a general rule, we feel there's more maturity there, you have more direction in life, and we want to encourage people to live their single life first, experience, travel, develop your career, find out what your hobbies are, find out what makes you happy. How do you deal with stressful emotions? How do you navigate family issues? Once you know that about yourself, you're then not experiencing it for the first time when you're in a marriage, and there's another layer of difficulty there. There are some early 20-year-olds that I've challenged joining the app, but after having a conversation with them on the phone, they are super mature. They've got their